Today we're on a tour that's called the Bibi Bus in Judea and Samaria. We brought the young generation of the Likud to be with us in the most important areas to our Jewish heritage. We started with Elon Moreh, that started the whole beautiful Jewish communities that were built here since 1967. Actually, Benny Katzover was explaining about the history of this place. Afterwards, we're going to tell Shiloh, where the Mishkan was, where Hannah prayed about Shmuel, and then we're going to finish in Ir David, city of David. The founder of the city of David is going to tell us about the history, the political history of the place. And I want to say something. We have a very important message to say. There is just one party that is going to make sure that all this beautiful enterprise will remain and will blossom after the elections.
Okay, so I have a question for you about that. When you spoke in Hebrew, you said that we need to apply sovereignty to this area.
Yes.
But it seems to me the only party with a plan to do that is Naftali Bennett. So if I live here, why am I voting Likud and not Naftali Bennett?
Okay, first of all, I started with this idea of the one-state solution way before Naftali Bennett was in politics, 4 years before we started putting this legislation. Most of the MKs in the Likud today are part of this legislation that to apply the Israeli law on Judea and Samaria annexation. And I must say that everyone knows that eventually the only party that can actually do it is the Likud, because this is the ruling party in Israel, no other option. And unfortunately, if we won't have a strong Likud, we can possibly find ourselves the day after the elections with a left-wing party, including Lapid, Meretz, and Bougie Herzog and Tzipi Livni. And this is something that the majority of people in Israel don't want it to happen, and we need to make sure that it's not going to happen.
Well, then wouldn't it be better if applying sovereignty was part of the Likud platform now going into the elections?
Well, the truth is, I think that when you're a ruling party, your main platform is the legislation you promote. So the Likud definitely promoted this legislation. It's also promoted the Mishalam legislation, that now it's a Chok Yesod, which is even more stronger. It means that we need to have another barrier if unfortunately one day it's going to be a left-wing party, so you won't be able to go to such an agreement without having people's consent. And I think this is part of what the Likud did.
One last question. Yesterday, there was a lot of controversy around something that, an answer you gave to a newspaper, that the Bar Ilan speech was canceled, and then the Likud party denied it, and then Netanyahu gave an answer in the middle. Which is it?
I think it's very simple. Netanyahu's announcement was we can't speak about giving up Judea and Samaria when the fundamental Islamic movements are on our borders. It's very clear that no agreement can be signed when you have such a thought about this place. This place will remain Jerusalem will remain united. I don't know even one Arab that is willing to declare on Israel as a Jewish state or to accept the idea of a Jewish state in any borders. It means that today, more than ever, we need to go on strengthening those areas and not strengthening those parties that are going to give up these areas.